I love being busy from the minute I get up till like the second I lay down and go to sleep of a night time. It just gives me purpose. I'm in my element right now. I'm the most alive I've felt in the last 12 months. This is me. This is my stage of life right now. I'm still being an active fighter. And I'm not ready to sort of give up on those goals and dreams.
And I think this is an area where a lot of people aren't aware of that. Yeah, combat sports sounds cool because you see the titles, $100 million fight, $250 million purse, this and that.
Unfortunately, I don't know how to make $250 million a fight, so I'm probably...
That'd be pretty crazy. Ask Manny. Manny will know.
At that time, I was a single mum with 2 kids. And I was having to work a 9 till 5, but then I was also having to work a second job on top of that, like with just my personal training to earn extra money, and then trying to find time for training.
Arlene Blencowe, the Angerfist, didn't start out wanting to fight. She was a young mum searching for a way forward, and she walked into a boxing gym. From there, everything changed. She became a national boxing champion and then stepped into the octagon, into MMA, against all odds, to fight on the biggest stage with Bellator. But behind all the belts and the bright lights were years of sacrifice, doubt, and a relentless battle to prove that she belonged. Arlene's story isn't just about winning fights. It's about resilience, motherhood, and the courage to keep standing back up no matter what life sent at her. Because in the cage and in life, the real fight is never giving in.
But it was like one of those fights, like I said earlier in the interview, I lost, but I won. There was a couple of moments in that fight where I could have quit on myself, but I didn't.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Point 01, where we have conversations with some of the most amazing people in Australia. Today, we have an awesome episode with Arlene Blencowe for episode 19, so let's get straight into it. All right, Arlene, you are currently on a fight journey. For those of us who don't know who you are, you have been a professional fighter for a very, very long time.
Yes.
You're also a 2-time world champion boxer. And I want to kind of dive into the psyche, right, of who you are as an elite athlete, a champion, a mother.
Yep.
And from our previous brief conversation, you haven't had an easy childhood growing up, nor have you had an easy journey into where you are today.
Yep.
So, yeah, for a lot of people out there who don't know you, who is Arlene Blencowe, the Angerfist?
Well, firstly, like you said, I'm a mum.
Yep.
I'm a partner. But yeah, I'm a fighter. And I guess touching back on what you just said before I was an actual fighter, I was a fighter. Like I fought in life just to get through life, I guess. And yeah, those attributes, I guess I learned from those early years and young adult life years sort of helped me carry on into my fighting. And it still does. Yeah,
and run us through, for those of us, we have a visual component to the podcast and we have an audio component. For those who are looking at you now, how old are you?
I'm 42.
42, professional fighter, and you are on fight camp right now.
Yeah. I'm fighting September 25th. Actually going back to boxing. I've been concentrating on MMA for the last, 14 years. But yeah, stepping back into the boxing ring here in Sydney. So it's my first fight in, just over 10 years.
First fight in 10 years.
Back here in Sydney. So it's going to be great having, obviously, my family, friends, fans, supporters, sponsors, all ringside to watch.
What made you want to get back into fighting 10 years on? Or get back into boxing 10 years on?
Back into boxing?
Yeah.
Well, I would ideally like to still be doing MMA. But it's just, honestly, at the moment, it's just keeping me busy. My last MMA fight was June last year in Ireland.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I had a couple of promotional issues in that time. I signed with a new promotion. Unfortunately, that went belly up. So I'm in the middle of going back to the promotion I was originally with. But they're actually being, nothing much is actually happening with the weight division that I fight in with that promotion at the moment. So I guess all the girls that are signed are kind of in limbo. So lucky for me, I have the ability to go back over to boxing and keep myself busy.
Wow. It's actually really interesting. I think a lot of people don't know. There's combat sports and then there's actually like a business component of combat sports.
Yep.
And I want to touch on that in a second. But with your boxing, going back into the sport of boxing at 42, it's a very physically intense sport.
Yep.
how do you do it? Like 42, right? I just turned 30, so I'm already feeling it in the body. At 42, how do you do it? That your training regiment's crazy. Run people through your training regimen right now, because we had a brief chat about it. We're trying to fit you in with collabs.
Yeah.
We're doing all of these sort of things. What's the regiment? Like how do you schedule your life with kids as well?
Yeah.
So how do you do it?
I like being busy, and it's the thing I even said to you in a quick message yesterday. Like a life with purpose is a life worth living.
100%.
I love being busy from the minute I get up till like the second I lay down and go to sleep of a night time. It just gives me purpose. But I'm extremely organised. We had the brief conversation before about being a little bit OCD and ADHD and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not diagnosed, but definitely got
I think that's all of us, right?
Yeah, but I've managed to tailor it into like it being beneficial for my lifestyle. But yeah, it's funny because you just hit the nail on the head just then. I am 42, and yeah, looking at it, it kind of seems crazy, but I'm just one of those people that I get an idea and then I just want to go for it. I back myself and I'm like, I can do this. And then later on, as sort of camp goes on, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, this is like, yeah, I'm sore as hell right now, and training's hard, but it's awesome. I love it. I'm in my element right now. I'm the most alive I've felt in the last 12 months.
Wow.
Like I said, I haven't fought since June last year, and I've had a lot of time to, sort a lot of other aspects in my life out in that time with, business opportunities and like possible career avenues, post-fight career, and, awesome time with my family. Got a new puppy. So,
cute.
So just, it's been great. But this is me. This is my stage of life right now. I'm still being an active fighter. And, I'm not ready to sort of give up on those goals and dreams and,
That's awesome. What's it like? What's it like in fight camp? Because I've never done one. But what's it like in fight camp? Is it like fighting every day, twice a day? How do you train?
Yeah.
Is there fitness, cardio, strength, weights? What does fight camp look like for you?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of it. So, I mean, once upon a time, it was purely for me focusing on, the skills and training. But then it's probably about 5 years ago, I realized that the mental aspect of it was so, so important.
Wow.
And how my mental state affected a lot of my outcomes in my fights, and even just more so the enjoyability of it in fight camp. You put a lot of pressures on yourself. It'd be, early in my fight career, I'd be sort of 6 weeks out of a fight camp and I'd be staying awake all night, like, playing mind games, like going over the fight, like nervous and, worried about how the fight was going to go, or worried about my preparation. Fast forward now, I've been doing this for, 16 years, working with my mental coaches, and I have a great team around me. So fight camp, obviously strength and conditioning. I had that session this morning before I came here, which is just around the corner at Ethos. I've been working with Mia and the team now for 7 years. Strength and conditioning is a big part of it. And then obviously my technical training. So great, this time I'm focusing on boxing because I'm in a boxing fight camp, but normally in MMA I've got
multiple disciplines,
right?
right?
So, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kickboxing, boxing, MMA, putting it all together, as well as your strength and conditioning, as well as your conditioning, as well as your recovery. Recovery is a big part of it. So I'm very grateful that I have a good recovery team here in Sydney. I actually have a great recovery team in Albuquerque, New Mexico too, when I do my fight camps over there. But recovery is a huge part of it. And being an older athlete, I'm doing, 1 to 2 forms of recovery every day.
Wow.
I've even set up a recovery set up at home. So I've got my own ice bath. I've got my Normatec boots. I've got like everything. So it just saves me time not having to be, because I am always on the go everywhere else. It's nice to be able to have that at home. But yeah, I've got my chiropractor and physiotherapist and cryotherapy and all of that.
Wow. That's crazy because, most people when they look at athletes, pro athletes, their kind of career spans till their early 30s and they're already considered an old athlete, right? So what is it like going into the fights mentally now? Because, on our show, we talk a lot about mental, because I think without the mental side locked down, the physical side is irrelevant. Financial side is irrelevant. You can't get anything right. You can get rich and you have the worst mental state and you're going to blow all your money. You can be the best physical performer on the planet. Yet, if your mental state is no good, you're going to crash and crumble. And we see that all the time. What is it like for you? What's the mental state of Arlene like? What goes through your head from a psychological point of view when you go into these fights? Especially knowing that you might be facing girls that are younger than you, half your age even sometimes, right? So
quite often.
quite often, right? So what is it like psychological? What runs through your head?
I just back myself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I also am the hardest person on myself. So that's it's like there's pros and cons to that, because being hard on myself obviously gets me to make sure that I train properly and push myself. And but yeah, I guess I back myself. I love the idea. I mean, I was 26 before I had my very first fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was fighting, society's norms back then with the idea, like I was already a mum with 2 kids, and it's kind of like, well, like I remember hearing people like saying that, I should just be a mother. Like, that's just what you should be doing. Like,
and you'd see a lot of that, right? And social media wasn't super big back then. But imagine if you're 26 again with 2 kids and you're trying to fight. People in the comment section would just go crazy.
Yeah.
Just go back, look after your kids. What are you doing? Why are you trying to do that to yourself? You get a lot of hate, a lot of like negativity.
Which I think it's great now because it's shifted from that, and like I'm very grateful that I guess social media wasn't a big thing back then.
Do you think it would have played a big role like mentally for you if you read all of that stuff?
Maybe in those early days, but I think I was already copying enough that I sort of was like, no, I want to still do this. So I was still fighting. Like, I mean, it's one thing to see those comments on social media, but to actually be told by people that were sort of somewhat close to you or whatever.
That's what hurts.
So that's actually So I was already fighting that. So I feel So, but here we are. I was 26. At 30 is when I had my first professional MMA fight. So then it was kind of like a whole different lot of comments like, oh, you should just stick with boxing. 30 is too late to be starting MMA. And
everyone always has an opinion, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. And what I've learned now, like fast forward all these years, is like they're just projecting their own fears and thoughts just because they can't do it. So, yeah, I love the idea that I've just pushed the boundaries. And I mean, I've always done that. I was a bit of a rebellious teen. It's I definitely pushed the boundaries and tested things, but it's nice to do this in my adult years now, like in a way that's gonna better me and my family. And
powerful.
Yeah,
I think that's very interesting. We're gonna take a step back and let's flash back to the past a little bit. What was like growing up? Because I know your background's half Filipino.
Yes.
Which is crazy, right? For a lot of people, that's from that side of things, there's not a lot of Philos that are fighters except for Manny, right? Manny Pacquiao.
Which I got to meet him last year.
Did you?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
I was very excited.
That's awesome. How is he?
Oh, he was great. So I was actually in Japan and he had an exhibition fight.
Yep.
Met him after his fight. So that was super cool because, I guess being Filipino, it was like he's
a lot of pride.
idolized over there, and
he's a god there.
Yeah, but for good reason. So, he's done a lot for the Filipino
community.
Yeah, given back.
Yeah. So what was your journey growing up then? Because are you born here?
Yeah, I was born in Manly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So my mum, she couldn't. So she came over here at 26 and couldn't speak any English when she was pregnant with me. So she had me. And I kind of like, now that I'm a mother, obviously been a mother for a long time now. But when you become a mother yourself, you realise a lot of things. And I just thought to myself, like, imagining being 26 years old, not being able to speak any English and having a baby. Because I always used to joke with her. I was like, are you sure I wasn't switched at birth in the hospital? I'm like, did you share a room with an Islander? Like, am I part Maori? Because I do not have the Filipino build. Like, I'm a big girl. Yeah. Well, I mean, not big, but I'm definitely not small like most Asians.
Typical Filipino girl.
I was taller than my mum when I was 10.
Oh, my God.
But and she just said to me, she goes, no. She goes, I was so scared that you were going to get stolen that I took you. I wheeled you into the toilet with me. I wheeled you into the bathroom. She goes, the nurses wanted to come take you over night time. And she's like, no. She just was very protective. But when you think about it, I mean, watch all these scary, like these movies and stuff. But yeah, she's a young 26-year-old Filipino woman in a strange country and has just had this baby. And so I definitely wasn't switched at birth because my mum is a scary woman when she's angry. And
so
no one would have stolen me. She would have been protective.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so unfortunately I didn't learn to speak Filipino because while I was learning to speak English as a baby, she was learning to speak English as an adult. So grew up in a small country town in Queensland, and
so you were born in Manly here, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys went to Queensland.
Yeah. We obviously just got out of Manly and then moved to rural Queensland, and they had a farm, and my sister was born in Queensland, so she's a year younger than me.
Oh, she's a Queenslander.
Yeah, so state of origin.
State of origin time must be pretty competitive.
Yeah. Well, at least she was born in Queensland.
Yeah,
so
it
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. What was it like growing up in rural Queensland? That's very, very different.
Well,
as a Filipino as well.
Yeah, well, we moved from Miles to Amamore. So Amamore is just inland from Gympie, so kind of just up from the Sunshine Coast. Small country town, and it's interesting being an athlete now, and this is why I think so fast forward to my adult years, I give so much back to young kids with like wanting to coach and train and just put that little spark of dream like inside them, to know that it's possible to grow up and become something and do something cool yourself. Because growing up in a small country town, we never came across any like, pro athletes or like,
Was there even a gym there?
No, it was just a small country town. But so you'd watch, like, I remember, and I still remember this now, watching the Olympics or watching the NRL, like watching State of Origin and watching Queensland and New South Wales lining up, and Simply the Best, which is actually a fight song of mine now. I walk out to it because it still gives me those feelings. Just watching, and I'm like, wow, look at these people. Like, you're not even thinking about it. Like, you just think that they're just superhuman. Like the athletes, like in the Olympics, they're just that none of them have got their own story, that it's just been an easy ride, that they're just like these athletes and they're superhuman. But, fast forward all these years and now, I rub shoulders with a lot of, world champions or Olympians or this and that, NRL players, and you realise pretty quick that everyone's got their own story, and a lot of athletes have actually come from a hardship as well. And they've just managed to turn that back around and become something. So I think that's a super important thing for young kids who aren't around that to hear, because I feel like there's a lot of dreams out there that are shattered, that don't even actually get that chance to become something because they just think, I can't do this.
That's right. And no nurturing. There's no one around them that can nurture that dream as well. And it's such a powerful thing. And I think we've had a brief conversation about you being a mother now as well. Right? Like, for our own children in the future, and for you already have your own children, but, raising your kids and then going out there and helping the other children out there with dreams. Dreams are something that a lot of people have, but as they get older, these dreams kind of fade into irrelevance. So I think it's good. What you're doing is amazing, to be able to go out there, help these kids and share your journey and story. Was there a lot of sort of hardships for you growing up? Because you mentioned that you're a fighter, not just a fighter in the cage or in the ring. You're a fighter in life. Yeah. What was it like growing up? Were you bullied? Was there kind of like discrimination? What were you sort of fighting with? Was it mental? Was it like mental, you're fighting your own demons? Or was it kind of like more physical? People were kind of seeing that you're different. Yeah. What was it like for you growing up?
I remember, so being a small country town, and it's interesting because you're in Sydney, I'm in Sydney now, and it's so multicultural. Yeah, and it's great because it is like, you can't say you're Australian because it's just like everyone's Australian because we're all Australian. Yeah. Whereas I grew up in a small country town, and my mum was like, I think one of two Filipinos. Wow. And then like my father.
Does your mum look really Filipino?
Like she lives in the back in the Philippines now. Yeah. And she comes back and visits, and I'm like, oh my God, you are so Filipino.
You're so Filipino.
Yeah. And I'm just like, is this what I grew up with? Like, I just don't, but my dad was actually like 56 when I was born.
Yeah, wow.
So he was a lot older. So there was a lot of generational, like a difference in generational upbringing. And it's just, Yeah, wow. So I was somewhat like always embarrassed growing up because it's like I felt like everyone else had parents that were normal parents' ages, and then I had like an ethnic like Filipino mom, and then like an old dad, and I remember my sister used to get bullied in school because she had darker skin, so she was like a complexion a bit darker than me, whereas I was a bit whiter, and I obviously had freckles. I don't know where they came from. But and it's interesting. So I was just I guess never the popular kid at school, but then always wanting to be. The only time I was like popular was when it was like athletics time or like school sporting activities, because I was good at anything that I did sporting wise. Wow. Like so everyone wanted me on their team.
Yeah. So you had a bit of a natural talent for fitness.
Yeah. And it was always like I loved it. Unfortunately, and I was only saying this to one of my training partners yesterday, like I would always make rep teams. Yeah. You're going on to like, state selection for this and that. but that would always come at cost. And like my parents did not have money.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I'd make it that far, and that would be as far as I'd make it.
Yeah.
So
It's tough. Sport is so hard. Like
Yeah.
being a professional, I think a lot of people don't understand this. Being a professional athlete is not about raw talent. There are so many talented kids out there
Yep.
who just never play at the world
Yeah.
level because
Yep.
they don't have the money to go on the
Yep.
trips.
Yep.
Because it's all self-sponsored.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't do it. And I think that's one of the hardest things about becoming a professional athlete, and why money is so important, obviously, in many different situations. It's just very, very difficult. I come from a bit of a sporting background myself. I also played rep. I also played state
Yep.
for many of the sports that I did, but I wasn't like you. I wasn't talented.
Yeah.
I trained hard.
Yeah.
13, 14 sessions of training a week
Yeah.
so that I could play at first grade or second grade level so I
Yeah.
can keep, rising through the ranks. But it was hard. I sucked. I started, honestly, when I started like soccer, I was in the Fs.
Yeah.
I was literally the last to get picked. I was in the Fs. And the only reason I got picked was because I was a fat kid. So they would chuck me in the goalpost as the goalie. So that was like kind of my experience with sport. And I had to work so hard to get to
Yep.
where I was back then.
Yep.
But it's good to hear from your perspective as well. Did you ever get into like schoolyard fights, anything like that? What was it like?
Yeah, it was so funny, and I it's like my best friend, but we were in primary school, and that was my first fight. I remember
In primary?
Yeah, because
Wow.
she'd said something about my sister, and
But your best friend says something about your
yeah,
sister.
her skin color or something.
Oh my God.
And I remember grabbing her and like pushing her up against the toilets, the brick wall in the toilet. Like I can still picture it now. Yeah, and that was like the whole like slamming her up against the wall.
Yeah.
That was my first little thing. But then yeah, high school I definitely got into a lot of fights. And this is the thing, I was super shy growing up.
Okay.
And even now, even as a young, like always been shy.
Yeah.
And it's only now being a martial artist and combat athlete, like obviously I'm out doing interviews and talks, and
Yeah.
I do like motivational talks, like, public speaking and stuff. And like, I would not have been doing any of that.
Yeah, wow.
When I looked at, how I was when I was younger,
Mm.
but I was super quiet and super shy. And I felt like when I get into like confrontational situations, I never used words really well to like get my point across. So then I just start throwing punches.
Is that where Angerfist came from? Where did the nickname come from?
Oh, well, so my very, very first fight, my friend and I made up like a mashup of songs.
Okay.
So it was Rihanna, so Run This Town.
Yep.
Who was it? There was a couple of different songs, but the very start of it, how we started it, there's Angerfist, the group.
Okay.
And they had this mega mix 2009. So it was my first fight in 2009. It goes for like 27 minutes. But the
Oh, wow.
very start of it, it says, "Hi, my name is," and then it goes Angerfist, and then we mashed it and then like added the "Who's Gonna Run This Town" and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we actually had that first part. It just sounded cool. I'm not sure because I don't actually listen to the band. It's
Yeah.
a very like
That's right.
heavy like metal like
Not your
rock.
vibe.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not one. But we had that for my very first fight. That was 2009. So I turned pro in 2012, and the fight name kind of stuck a little bit, but it wasn't until I started MMA, and obviously because I came from the boxing background. Obviously all I did in my first few MMA fights was throw punches.
Throw punches, yeah.
And when you look back at any of like the video footage or like fight photos, it looks like I'm throwing with intent, like to kill.
Yeah.
Which in the moment I kind of am. Like
Yeah.
in fights, I'm like trying to kill you.
Yeah, what is that psychology? Literally, what
It's
is
so crazy
yeah.
because like I'm a pretty chill, nice person. I wasn't before. I had a lot of anger issues and bits and pieces, trauma and whatever. But like over these years now, I'm super chill. Like I'm calm.
You've worked through it.
Yeah. But then flick that switch in there, and I want to take your head off. Like I want to do some serious damage. Probably wouldn't say kill you. That's probably a bit extreme. I know I don't want to ever inflict any lifelong like permanent
proper-
damage, but I want to hurt the person. I want to knock them out cold, like
And
make
I'm sure
them
they think
bleed
the same for you as well, yeah.
But then the bell finishes and it's like hug, and it's like, okay, we're chill, like new Facebook friends. We'll
Yeah.
support each other's career for the
Oh my
rest of their
God.
career. But it's crazy because it literally is a switch. But it's not. It's definitely not anger. Like it's like I want to win at everything I do. And it's
Competitive spirit.
and it's a hard one because there's times that especially in training or like, I want to always improve my weights or get better or whatever. But like sometimes it's not about like that.
Yeah,
You've just
yeah.
got to kind of, just go through the motions. It's not about winning or, So your ego has to get put aside there a little bit.
100%. And so were there moments in your fight career where it was very difficult for you? So for example, obviously you win fights and you lose fights.
Yep.
What's it like winning and then what's it like losing, like psychologically? Because it'll be quite hard, right? I mean, you're a world champion. So
Yeah.
obviously coming with that is that side of ego. As you know,
Yeah.
you are the
Yeah.
best. You're
Yeah.
literally the best in the world.
Yeah.
And you're going to have an ego, like I'm the best in the world. And then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 later, you
Yeah.
get knocked down on your ass.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, funny enough, I actually, I won my 2 boxing world title fights. So I'll go back to answering your question properly. But like, I actually was in fight camp for an MMA fight, and I got a call up to take on a week's notice world title boxing fight, or 2 world title boxing fights. So I took that on a week's notice, had that fight, won the 2 world titles, became a world champion. And then 5 weeks later, I actually then had to go and do the MMA fight that I was originally in camp for. I actually lost that.
Yeah.
So
wow.
talk about like a high,
So
and the thing is too, I actually didn't get a chance to celebrate becoming a world champion
Yeah.
sort of thing. It was kind of like, oh, straight back into work. I've got
Wow.
to fight. But this is the thing, like, winning and losing. Well, losing, I kind of just put it into the same aspects of life. Like, some days you'd be winning in life, and then other days you just be losing, and you've just got to take the knocks and like take the wins when they come, and then like ride through the lulls when you lose and stuff. But funny enough, like some of my wins, I've been so hard on myself for my performance that I actually haven't been happy about it.
Wow.
And then I've had losses that have been losses, but then they've actually been wins because I know that things that I've actually had to go through during fight camp or even to get in there, like it was a win personally. So it's a hard one because when you do put yourself out there on social media and you're like the world's watching, you're not just taking that loss or taking the win
by yourself.
The
comment
and
section goes
my
crazy.
goodness, yeah. And I'm waiting for it now, even for this upcoming boxing fight. Like I'm fighting the current Australian champion, and
is it a title fight? Not a title
yeah,
fight.
no,
it is a title fight.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
for the Australian title. So I was only saying to one of my teammates this morning, like, I could have come back after, a hiatus in boxing and taken an easy fight, a warm-up fight.
Yeah.
And, everyone's like, oh, look, she's back in boxing. But I wanted a hard fight.
You picked the current champion.
And she's like, she's not an easy opponent. Like I had another interview for some promo for the fight, and that's why I said, like, I didn't call her out of disrespect. Like I called her out of respect because you don't go from fighting the top fighters in the world for the last 10 years on a promotion in MMA to then come back to Australia and call a easy opponent. That doesn't give me any credibility.
Yeah.
So, and to be fair, we both put a great performance on. It just sets us up for other avenues. Like I've had
100%.
promotion fights with other opponents, and I've got the amazing win or something, but they have gone on to get signed to other promotions because they got the leg up from taking the fight with me and stuff. So
Yeah, correct.
But yeah, no, I'm waiting for the comments. I was trying to think of what I was like. I went off track and I'm coming back. The comments, I already know I'm going to be copying because my boxing record's actually terrible.
What is it?
It's 4 wins, 5 losses.
Yep.
In saying that, the 5 losses have all been, 4 of those losses have either been world title fights or championship fights. But
So not easy fights.
no, none of it. Like none of my losses have definitely been against easy fighters. So, but it was sort of earlier on when my career probably wasn't managed the best. I was trying to jump between weight divisions and also jump between being a 2-sport athlete. So I was still doing MMA.
Yeah, like MMA plus boxing is crazy.
Yeah, well, that's
Intense.
it. They're 2 different sports, and you've got to give the respect. Like boxing's a full-time sport, as I know right now. I'm like actually like I'm sore as hell.
Yeah.
And the idea, I mean, this was sort of 10 years ago too. So thinking that I could jump between the two, I backed myself, but there was a period there where I was taking losses in MMA and then taking losses in boxing. And then I got the call up to sign for an overseas promotions to sign with Bellator. And they started paying me, which back then what I thought was great money compared to what I was getting paid. So I was like, I think I have to focus on MMA.
Yeah,
and that's why there has been such a big gap with my boxing fights because realistically, I put as much effort into a boxing fight camp as I do MMA.
Yep.
So I'm obviously going to do whichever fight pays me more money,
Of
which
course.
is obviously MMA.
Of course.
But right now, I've realized that it's not always about money. Sometimes it's, this fight here, this one sits close to my heart. So it's, that's what's pushing me.
Which is awesome. And I think that it takes such courage and such grit and drive and determination to be able to come back and go, hey, 10 years on, I'm going to fight in my 40s. And I'm not just going to fight some random bum on the street. I'm going to fight the current Australian champion. So it's like, that's ballsy. Like that's ballsy.
You're making me sound a little bit crazy.
Hey, but crazy is good. Crazy is good.
Well,
I mean,
that's it.
the most successful people on the planet are crazy. To everyone else, they look crazy, but to themselves, it's just because they had the courage to do so.
Yeah.
They were willing to do the things that people aren't willing to do, and I think that's what makes these 0.01 percenters. And that's what really makes the difference between a winner and a loser. And like I said, like you said, even when you lose a fight, sometimes it's not a loss because mentally, personally, physically, or whatever it was, you've overcome your own challenges to be able to get to that. Even to get to that loss, you are still the person in the cage, in the ring, fighting at that world level, which is crazy.
For me now, I'm sitting here at 42 and, for the last 5 years, I've been lucky enough to not have to work a full-time 9-to-5 job.
Which is crazy.
It's great. And this is the thing, obviously I have other streams of income. I do my personal training, I do my mentoring and this and that, my guest motivational speaking. But I have a great life. This is right now I have purpose to my days. I love what I'm doing. The people that I get to associate with, my teammates. I don't have this boss that's looming over me that's constantly pushing me to do stuff that I just don't like doing.
Yeah.
Obviously what I do is hard. My training is hard, but it's awesome. I feel alive. I'm living the best life right now.
Which is awesome. And on this money topic, we know boxers, the really big boxers, really big fighters, they can make a shitload of money in their fights, right? Is that based on your promoter that you worked with, or is that how do they usually find or how do they usually create a lot of income? And I think this is an area where a lot of people aren't aware of that. Yeah, combat sports sounds cool because you see the titles: $100 million fight, $250 million purse, this and that, big fights, right? Massive fights, obviously. How does that actually all work in the fighting game?
Definitely to do with the promoter that you signed with, obviously getting good sponsors on board too, but just, fighting your way up through the rankings and stuff and then whatever titles that you own. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make $250 million a fight, so I'm probably...
That'd be pretty crazy. Ask Manny. Manny will know.
Boxing, I have not earned much money at all. And I was only saying to one of the girls that I used to train with that has had to take a backward step on her career to focus on her fight career so that she could focus on actually earning money. And I just remember that. And it's a hard gig. And especially it took me back to sort of when I first sort of started fighting. At that time I was a single mum with 2 kids. And I was having to work a 9 to 5, but then I was also having to work a second job on top of that, with just my personal training to earn extra money, and then trying to find time for the training, and it was hard. And as an amateur, I remember the first year of fighting, traveling to all these different gyms or traveling for fights, even just fuel money and this and that. Which when you don't have much money, those sorts of things sort of add up. And I just remember the first year of fighting, I sat back and thought, I can't keep doing this because I don't want to take food out of my kids' mouths,
just so you can fight.
Well, it just wasn't fair. Your priorities, and as a mother, your kids are always your first priority. So I was lucky enough at that time to start working for a photographer who was also a life coach.
Oh, wow.
So she mentored me. It was funny because I was obviously a personal trainer. So I helped her with the physical stuff and got her motivated to train and all that sort of stuff, whereas she helped me with a lot of the business aspects. And I remember her telling me that that I should look at myself as more than just a fighter, how I can, monetize sort of like that, because I think especially for this, we're talking 2010 by now.
Yep.
So females in fighting was still very rare back then, and just a bit of a showcase type thing, and it just different to the norm because it was still a very male dominant sport. So that's when I sat back and thought, okay, I can't be buying new gloves, spending all of these things. And so I approached equipment companies for sponsorship, recovery centers and this and that. So all these things that if I was actually paying for it out of my pocket, it all adds up.
100%.
Whereas now, that was the first side of things. And then when I turned professional, getting obviously financial sponsors on board. But just looking at myself as a business rather than a fighter. And that's what got me into obviously the motivational talking, going into schools, running programs and bits and pieces. So, she helped me a lot.
Powerful. What was it like in your first couple of fights? Like, how much money do you usually make? Because a lot of people would not be aware. We briefly touched on this, but
okay, so I literally, for my first few MMA fights, I think I was $500 for one MMA fight. But
whether you win or lose, or it's just
that was a flat rate, just 500. One time I actually fought 3 times in one night, so 3 MMA fights. It was like a gauntlet type thing. I made $100 on that. And then I got back to Sydney Airport and my parking was $170. So, I was like, But in saying that, it's like, I just feel like they're the stepping stones. Like all of those things that, my first year of MMA, so I was a pro MMA fighter. I didn't have any amateur MMA fights because I was already a pro boxer.
So it
I had to,
over?
So I automatically had to go professional for that, which now I think they have it's up to a certain number of fights before you have to go pro or whatever. I was a pro. First year, I had 8 fights, 8 MMA fights, but that was a busy year. But then the next year, I became the first Australian female signed to Bellator. Wow. So it just that hard work. But it was interesting because I never started fighting to make money. I just always had a goal. Well, originally as an amateur, the goal was to be an Olympian. It was just, that dream didn't happen. So then, I guess the goal shifted and then, I turned professional, became a world champion. But the goalposts just kept changing. Like I feel like even now coming towards the end of my career, I definitely have not achieved the goals that I set out to achieve. But in saying that, I achieved all these other things too. But in saying that though, financially, I was very lucky towards the end of my MMA contracts with Bellator to make some good money, which was nice. But
it's good. I mean, you get punched in the face, right? So it's hard. It's not an easy slog, and I mean, for the amount of money that pro fighters get paid, and it's insane. But you know what? Speaking of this, I actually just had a thought just come into my mind. You mentioned earlier that you were one of the very early day female fighters. What was that like? There must have been a lot of criticism, a lot of narrative, which is like, women can't do it as good as men, this and that, especially in the sporting world. And women get paid significantly less than men in the sporting world too. What goes through your head as a very, you're one of the originators in terms of this sense, one of the OGs, right? For female, especially female combat sports. How was that like? Because you would have been changing perspectives. People, weren't sure. People just weren't super interested in female sports. So how was it? And I think that sort of challenge still exists now, and it still persists through the time. Whether it's things like NBA, WNBA, and female AFL and women's AFL and all that sort of stuff. Women's NRL. It's very hard, very different. Women versus men. Have you? I'm actually very curious. Have you ever fought men in the cage or in the ring?
I spar them all the time.
You spar them all the time.
Training partners. Never fought one. But this is the thing. Guy strength is very, very different to girl strength. So so I fight at 66 kilos. No, I'm not that right now. But a 66 kilo guy would do some serious damage. They are so much stronger. To be fair, I feel like I haven't ever copped. I don't know, maybe because I throw punches like a guy, and I'm not a girly girl, so it's not like hard. I sort of. Actually, it was funny the other was a couple of months ago on the mats. I found sounded like the most female I ever have. I just had my nails done, as in like I only get them painted, so I don't get acrylics or anything.
Nothing,
I can't have long nails. They're not even painted right now. But I had them painted, and I don't know what happened on the mats, but I cracked it.
Yeah.
And I got up, I sort of stood up and I went, oh no, I chipped a nail. But the way it came out, anyway, I was rolling with this guy and then he just looked at me and I was like, oh my goodness, that's like the most female I've ever seen like on the mats ever. But he was just as shocked as I was because I was like, because they all know, like I just get on the mats and I'm like, there is no guy or girl. Like we're just, just go. It's like, so I've always been very, very well respected within like my training partners, my coaches. Obviously the early days, there might have been like one female bout every couple of shows or whatever. Yeah. And it was always a spectacle bout. It's like, oh wow, like, and then obviously the girls would get on there and it'd probably be a little bit scrappy or whatever compared to now. But fast forward, 16 years on now, and my gosh, some of the talent that's coming through. I was very lucky, I guess, though, when I first started, it was the same time as the Ronda Rousey era.
Oh,
so
okay.
She was definitely a pioneer. Love her or hate her.
She's like definitely brought the sport up to the next level.
She did what needed to be done because, especially for UFC, like it's MMA, but it still helped the boxing world too. It helped all martial arts. Dana White was so adamant that, a female would never be on the card or headline a card. And look what Ronda did. Like she showed, and now, like, look at all the amazing MMA fighters that are signed with the female MMA fighters that are signed with the UFC. But even now, like I walk into like sparring days or, boxing gyms and stuff, and there's just so many girls up and coming too that are just going to be little weapons.
Yeah. So. And I've seen, because I've gone to a couple of boxing matches when, when I was there with the Zoo brothers. Yeah. And I've seen the fights that the girls put on. Like sometimes I sit there and I go, why do I feel like these girls fight harder than the boys do? It's crazy.
When you think about it, though, I always joke because I was like, you see a whole heap of female fighters and you're like, all right, what little screws loose do you have? Because it's not normal. It's not a normal thing for a girl to wake up and be like, I want to be a fighter.
I don't want to get punched in the face.
Yeah. I mean, obviously now it's a little bit more like accepted in society to want to play what used to be known as boy sports. Yeah. Like it's super cool to see the girls play rugby and the quality of the rugby that the girls are playing now is so much better in just a couple of years. But it's not something normal that the girls want to do, but I feel like it's just almost like this fearlessness that the females have because there's no self-preservation. You just get in there and you throw and
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. I think it is definitely turning slowly. The whole massive ship is starting to turn with female sports. Just look back. Was it last year or the year before when the Matildas were playing? Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah, they had more eyes than the Socceroos.
Exactly. That was a massive thing.
I mean, they did do a lot better than the Socceroos.
Which is a fair point. They did really well. But it's crazy though. Like the whole entire landscape for female sports is shifting. It's growing. And you're one of like the original sort of fighters in that category here in Australia, which is really cool. I mean, like you're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for a sport, you're fighting for representation. Yeah. I think that's really powerful stuff. What was it like then going down, like to go and fight professionally in MMA? I think a lot of people won't really realize the difference between like MMA and then boxing, and then there's things like UFC, then there's like the one in Asia, you got ONE FC, you got all of that sort of stuff. What are these things? If you were to explain it to other people, what's something like UFC, ONE FC? I feel like one is really intense, but so what are these different? Are these different competitions? Or
they're
are they
different. Well, the easiest way I like to say it to somebody that has like completely no idea. It's like you've got a brand, say Nike and Adidas. Yeah. They both like produce the same sorts of things, but they're just different companies. Yep. So you've got MMA, which is it's a sport, mixed martial arts. So obviously it's a combination of boxing, kickboxing, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Everything. Yeah. There is limits, like it's not just brutal. You can't headbutt and all that sort of stuff. You can't sock a. Actually, ONE FC, I'm pretty sure you can sock a boot to the head when they're grounded.
Oh,
pretty sure. Is it one of
One FC is pretty crazy though.
I think that could be one FC.
Intense.
But you've got different promotions. So UFC is obviously the household name because everyone
it's the biggest right now.
It is the biggest one, yeah. It's kind of everyone's ultimate the end goal if you're an MMA fighter. You know, I did have a couple opportunities to transition over, but for me it just wasn't right. For I guess me at that stage of my career.
How come? Like if UFC is kind of like the pinnacle of the competition or combat sport arena for you, why wasn't it the right time for you?
I always said, so I was 30 when I had my very first professional fight, MMA fight I should say, sorry. So I was starting my career late. I got the start up with Bellator, so I became the first female Australian signed to the promotion, and I had my first 4-fight contract with them. Getting paid a lot more than what I was getting paid here, and that was great. They were awesome to work with. I had an opportunity. So after the first 4 fights, I dropped down a weight division and then was looking at signing at bantamweight then. Yeah. So that was my first run at trying to get to the UFC. They wanted me to get 2 quick wins and finishes. So I dropped down to bantamweight and got 2 finishes both within a minute.
Oh shit!
So because I was like, I want this. I want it. I want it now.
Yeah.
Sorry, actually, the second one wasn't within a minute. I think it was within 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But they were both.
What's bantamweight? What
so 61 kilos.
61 kilos bantamweight. Yep.
So at that time, I was given the opportunity that I could fight at 61 or 66.
Yep.
So 2 weight divisions, and then we were told that there wasn't any room on the roster, and I was kind of like, okay. So I ended up signing back with Bellator for my second contract.
Yep.
And then Bellator actually paid me more money than my first contract. Wow, so I was like, cool, I was making like all right money there. And then the next opportunity, which coincided with actually my third contract offer, was to go in the Tough House in Vegas. So we were umming and ahhing about that, but then I ended up signing the third contract because it was actually like a really good like contract. So that was kind of like the last option. Yeah.
So is it contract to contract basis? Is that how it works? You don't go and sign up with like a promoter and they're like, okay, cool, you're kind of in our stable now. Is it like, hey, we have you for 4 fights, then you can move to another promoter?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, that's how MMA works. I'm not too sure about like the other. Like, I mean, I'm sure every contract could be possibly different.
Yes.
But I only ever signed for 4-fight contracts at a time.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, and they just kept getting better, and I just thought, okay, so by then I think I was, I don't know, 37, 38. And it's kind of like, and I think the third time was the opportunity to go back to Bellator. Over to the UFC. But then I would have been starting at like base rates. Like for so it's okay.
But what's it like? What's a base rate? I mean, like it could be base rate, hey, 100K a fight, or base rate is like, hey, $5,000 a fight or something.
Oh yeah, I think like the early. Well, my first Bellator contract was $6,000 US
per fight.
Per fight, and then another 6,000 if you got the win.
Ooh,
so it ended up being back then. It was 10 and 10. So 10,000.
Yeah.
This is coming from someone that got paid $100 for 3 fights. I was like, cool, I'm in. So then that was my first one, and then each fight goes up. So my first fight was 6 and 6.
Yep.
And then because I won that first one, I went up to 8 and 8, and then 10 and 10, then 12 and 12. And then my next contract was double that. And then my next contract, he added a 0 onto that.
Oh,
so,
wow. Really?
And this is why I didn't want to go back to like the base rate of, I think the UFC, they couldn't speak figures with me at the time. But I mean, you're ranging anywhere from like, 8 to 14. And it's just like,
Well, I mean, if you're doing like $100,000, $200,000 a fight, and then they're like, "Hey, come over to us, bigger name, but 10K a fight." You'd be like, you know what?
And this is the thing, like I had to it was weighing up what was important to me. Obviously, UFC. Yeah. You're a household name. You walk down the street, and everyone's like, "Oh, that person," like
It's like Volkanovski, right?
Yeah. Only that he's like the champion and like awesome.
Yeah.
And I just had to look at me too. Like I'm realistic. Like I mean, sure, I'm a nice person. I speak somewhat well on the microphone.
You do actually speak quite well. Yeah. You do.
But I'm not star power. It's not like I'm a Conor McGregor or like a.
You don't want to do all the shit talking and the fanfare.
I want to get in and just be like. A nice person, be respectful,
I'll see
get
you
my
on Friday
job
for
done.
the fight.
Yeah. Like I don't need to do all that sort of stuff. And because I guess for me, I've always just wanted to be that person that teaches my kids how to act, like and be a good sports person and this and that. So I knew that if I went over to the UFC, I wasn't going to be you know,
they'll be like,
huge, a
cause
superstar.
drama,
Yeah.
stir shit.
So I would have
do
been that middle like earner.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. Whereas if I stayed with Bellator, obviously, you know, I fought for the world title 3 times, still didn't win it.
Yeah.
But had a cracker of a third shot with Chris Cyborg, so that was okay. I was redeemed, but still lost it. So
Yeah.
but I put it set me and my family, changed me and my partner's life.
Yeah.
By staying with that promotion. So I just had to sum up. I don't want to be a household name. I don't want to be famous all over the world. I want to be loved by my partner, be loved back, have happy, healthy kids, loved by them, and have a good circle of people that respect and love me. And that's what I have, and that's all I need.
Wow. I love that. I respect that a lot. I think, you know what it is I think this generation, and we could be speaking because we're slightly different in ages, right? But I think this generation, because of social media and all of the fanfare of social media, everyone wants to be like, I want to fight and be a UFC fighter. I want to be an XYZ. I want to be that. Yep. Why? Because it makes them look cool. It makes them feel good. But then you're a dickhead on screen. Like, just because you're nice in person, but you're a dickhead on screen, everyone thinks you're that.
Yeah.
But what you said is awesome. Be a great example for your kids. You know, show them what it's like. Be a competitive athlete. Fight hard. But also be a genuinely good person.
Well, I think at the end of the day, and I'm realizing this too, because it has been over a year now. Like I said, it's June last year since I fought in Ireland. Probably had like one of my career best performances. Conor McGregor was in my opponent's corner. There was this whole big thing. Wow. I finally got a submission win inside the Bellator cage.
Yeah.
So shocked a few people and this and that. And that was actually my first fight back after knee surgery. Yeah. So like there was just a lot. Like I was nervous as hell for that one, but and then it was great. We were on top of the world. Like I went to Europe, traveled around Europe and did a couple of got asked to go to Japan. That's when I met Manny and had these great trips and bits and pieces, and then it sort of slowly dies down. And you're not the center of attention anymore because there's other fighters. There's always going to be other fighters.
Of course.
And it just made me realize that it's definitely not about that. The fame's great. Like I mean, I don't love it, but it's also nice to feel important and be important or whatever.
Of course.
But that's not the end goal. Is as long as you're happy within yourself in your home life and is it. Like after the shit show of a young adult life and childhood and bits and pieces, like I have everything that I have right now.
Yeah.
Like I have a partner who loves and respects me, which is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And loves spending time with me.
Which is good.
That's always good.
Yeah, which is always good.
And 2 kids that I've managed to raise to be good people.
Yeah.
Still, my son still makes dumb mistakes, but he's 17. And
he's a son.
Yeah. But like they're both living, chasing their goals and dreams.
Are they fighting at all?
Oh, no. I thought it's funny because both of them went through a stage. I thought my daughter would have. She went through a stage of like she'd walk around with little braids and she'd always be in training clothes. She was 7 when I started.
Yeah.
8,
did she watch all your fights coming up as well?
Yeah, well, on TV. So they've been to
TV,
they've been to one of my live Bellator. Actually, sorry, she's been to 2 of my live Bellator fights in America. Yeah, I took her to Oklahoma, and then they also came to my fight in Hawaii, my world title fight, so that was cool. So they've had to watch the last 10 years worth of fights, obviously on TV.
Yeah.
Apart from those 2, but she went through a stage, but then she hit her teenage years, and then like it's almost like she looked at me and just wanted to do the complete opposite.
Yeah, she's like, "Nah, Mum, I'm not gonna get punched in the face. I'm good.
Which
I
is
want to be
fine.
pretty."
Like she's she's at uni. She's in her final semester of uni now, and she sits and reads, and she's very quiet and very academic.
Wow.
But my son, he's a soccer player, football. I should call it football.
Talented as well.
Extremely.
Wow.
He's 6'6".
Oof, tall boy.
Yeah, and very athletic, very good at anything that he puts his mind to.
He's got your genes.
Yeah,
for that.
he even joked the other week and said, well, actually, I read something that children get their sporting talents.
Yeah.
Genetically from their mother.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, we'll claim that one.
Yeah, that's on me. I did that. Yep.
But yeah, he even said like, it was a little while ago now, I should say. He goes, if this soccer thing doesn't work out, I might take up fighting. And I was like, ooh.
Just all right, jump in the cage and we'll show you what it feels like.
I always back her up, put videos up. If he's acting up at home or whatever, I'm like, come out and hold the pads for me.
Yeah.
And I just like throw into the pads.
Like, do you still want to get hit by that?
No, it's not something 100% I would support them. I support them in anything that 100%. They do. But I just know like I love fighting. I'm a fighter,
Yep.
but every now and then I still question like why I do this, because it's a tough sport,
Yeah.
and if your head and your heart aren't there, like it's not something you can force someone to do,
Of
because
course.
it's
I mean, you're getting hurt for a living, essentially.
well, that's it. And there's parts in a fight, and you feel it all through training, where you've got to dig deep, and it's like soul searching.
Yeah.
I've been in those positions a couple of times in a few of my fights, where I've had to really dig deep, and it's the opportunity where you quit
Yeah.
or you really like man
Well,
up.
yeah, actually, I'm very curious because I've
Man
never.
up.
Yeah,
That's probably the wrong
Woman up.
term to use right now, but I'm so not like a feminist. Like I'm all
yeah,
about
but whatever.
men need to be made great again.
Yeah.
Make men great again.
I think that's also true. I
Yeah.
think this society has. I actually had this conversation last week with another one of our guests, and we're like, men have actually gone a lot softer nowadays.
100%.
And yeah, I think it's just it's one of those
Society's done that, and I'm all for. I'm a strong female, and I'm grateful that I've been able to both work in a career that was male dominant, and now I'm in a fight career that was once male dominant, and I can hold my own in like a group like of men. Like
Yep.
you know, I don't feel like I'm belittled or anything, but that's on me because I carry myself that way.
Yeah.
But I'm all about men being men.
Traditional
Like,
gender roles, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a huge conversation.
Yeah,
Huge.
and it's not downplaying what females. That's the thing. Like in our household, like I'll cook and clean. Actually, sorry, my partner also cooks because he's a very good cook. I cook too healthy.
Yeah.
He cooks all the really nice, like
Yummy
Italian.
food.
Oh my gosh, I watch the creams and stuff go in, and
You're
I'm like, it
"Fuck,
tastes
what?
good. Yeah,
I
but I'm like,
can't eat that."
"Ugh." But yeah, like the boys will do the lawn, wash the cars, do all
Yeah.
that. I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm more than capable of doing that. But it's just kind of like those gender roles. Like if we go somewhere as a family, my partner's the one that drives.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, I just like he's the head of the family, and he's like he feels like he's protecting our like there's just certain things that he just does. Like if we go out to dinner, he pays. I'm more than capable of paying.
100%.
But like it's not, and he's not trying to be macho, chauvinistic or anything like that. It's just that, like, I don't know, just gender roles. It's nice. If I'm walking through a door and I get my son to do this too, open up the door. And it's not,
100%.
and it really annoys me when feminists crack on about this because I don't know, men's mental health is a big thing at the moment.
I agree.
And it's a big, and this is the main reason why, because they're not able to be men without
being judged
Yes,
as well, which
yeah.
is how crazy does that sound?
Oh.
You can't even be a man without being judged, which is
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Like we have this conversation because I have a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs, and you know we are very competitive in a different way compared to
Yeah.
sporting, right? We're obviously business guys, and it's hard. Being a man in this day and age is fucking
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
So many pressures from society and all of that. And you have to be responsible. You've got to be financially successful. You've got to drive the nice car, have the nice house. You've got to be able to look after everyone.
Yeah.
And to be a man, you have to be able to be capable, physical. You have to be
Yeah.
able to do all of these sort of things. But this generation kind of goes, hey, you know, let the women do some of that too. You've got to be more emotional now. You've got to do this. And it's just like, bro, just let us be, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes we've got to
like,
be emotionally unavailable.
What do you
Sometimes
actually
we've gotta
want
do-
from us? Because
Yeah.
you want this, but then you don't want this.
And then you
it's-
judge us for this, and then it's like, so what the fuck do you want me to do? You want me to just sit here and be a potato? Like, how does it work?
It
So,
is.
a
And
bit
it's
crazy.
a hard one because, like, obviously I'm, like, my son's 17 now.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, making sure I raise a good man for society because.
And a good man for his future wife too.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
he'll be
so
amazing
important.
for his future wife. She'll be very, very thankful that he can cook and clean, and
There you go.
he keeps his side of the house because he's got his own bathroom and
Yep.
his bedroom. But like I think he's a little bit OCD like me, which
I
isn't
see.
a bad thing.
So he's taken a lot from mum.
Yeah, but I actually joke. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, you watch, you'll end up getting a girlfriend who's not
She's a
neat and
mess.
tidy.
Yeah, she's a
and
mess.
she just, and you'll be like, why is that left out? Why is
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so, but yeah, I always say to my friends, especially, I've got a lot of, you know, my sister-in-law's just had a little girl. A baby, and then yeah, friends that have got babies, and it's just that when they have girls, because obviously, again, in society, every couple,
Yep.
mostly the male, want to have a son first.
Of course.
Like,
I'm,
it's just
I'm
this-
the same, right?
Yeah,
I'm
and it's
exactly
just
the
a
same.
thing. But I always say to the guys, like, you know, every dad needs to have their little girl because it is.
I would also love a little
Yeah,
girl, you know?
but
100%.
in like the defense of all of it, it's actually nicer to be raising a girl in today's society.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is it? Because that little girl can grow up knowing that she can do anything.
Yeah.
Today's world, like, there's no gender like barriers.
correct.
She can grow up to be anything. Whereas a poor boy, like, it's
the judgment,
Yeah.
all of these things,
Yeah.
the pressures
I'm
of everything.
still like we're planning on having another baby.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my fiance and I, we've been together for 10 years and like he doesn't have any kids. He's an amazing stepdad to my 2 kids, but we've been putting this off now for so long. But
so after this fight camp, it's hard.
I don't know.
After the fight.
You watch, I'll probably get signed to some big boxing promotion
and you're like,
make
sorry,
okay.
babe.
No, well, it's a mutual decision is the thing because there's been a few times throughout my career while we've been together that I'm like, okay, I'm ready to pull it. And thankfully, he was a former professional athlete.
Oh, wow.
And his career actually ended like sort of pretty much
instantly.
Just because of a shoulder injury and stuff and everything.
What sort of athlete was he?
He was a goalkeeper soccer as well.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it's funny because my son's a goalkeeper as well for soccer. Yeah.
Wow, why is everyone a goalkeeper? I swear everyone on the podcast that I've had so far, maybe 3 people have all been goalkeepers or they've had, someone very close to being goalkeepers.
It's because if you actually watch a sport of soccer or / football, the goalkeepers are nutty.
Yeah.
It's a position, like I've sat there and had to cover my eyes a couple of times because they'll dive in front of a ball that's getting kicked.
Yeah.
And like my partner, he's been kicked in the face and nose broken.
My nose is the same. I got literally booted to the face.
Yeah, like it's the fearlessness.
And now my nose is just absolutely cooked. So I don't know how you do it, getting punched in the face all the time.
Oh, I remember one time. Oh, this is years ago. This is before I even started MMA, so must have still been an amateur at the time. But this old guy, we were at we were watching the fights at the pub.
Yeah.
And said something about fighting or whatever, and then the guy turned to me and old guy, and he's like, "Oh, are you a fighter? I can tell you're a fighter."
What?
I was like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "You've got a flat nose. You can tell you're being punched in the face." I was like, "I'm Filipino."
I'm Filipino.
I'm like, but I was just like, "Oh, thanks." And then, but then you get the nice ones because they're like, "Oh, I can tell you're a good fighter," and I'm like, "Oh, why is it?" And like, because you still got a pretty face, so you must like.
Oh,
and I was
how
like,
good
"Oh,
is that?
thanks."
How good is that? How good is that?
But no. So back to my partner's, I was very supportive throughout my career because he just said, like, if you retire now to have a baby.
That's it, you're done.
Well, I actually don't think I plan if we have a baby, I still want to come back and have another one. Just because that's like my goal because I want to have that feeling of bubby on hip.
Yeah.
And then my hand raised, and then
how
I'll be happy to call it a day. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, the last couple of years because I had been making such great money, it's kind of like, oh, like what if I don't come back? And it's like, we just wanted to set ourselves up financially a little bit better.
Of course, well, but it's hard. Australia is hard. So
that's
especially
it.
if you're living here in Sydney. So
it's all good and well to sit here and say, yeah, I'm fighting for the love of it and this and that. But I mean, money makes the world go around. Makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, 100%.
If I'm going to plan on do a couple of international holidays a year, yeah. But so I just lost my train of thought.
That's all right.
Having a baby, it's all right. It'll pop back. There we
Yeah,
go.
that's the ADHD brain going out.
Yeah, no, I always say it's been punched in the head too many times.
Well, at least you got that excuse, right? Yeah. No, but it is very interesting. You know, you're moving forward. Obviously, if you're gonna have another baby, and you're fighting as well. That's crazy. You're at the cusp of like retirement for both of those things.
I know. I mean, I was joking the other day because it's actually classed as a geriatric pregnancy now, and I'm like,
is it actually?
Yeah, but
geriatric.
But it's crazy. I mean, I'm very lucky that I've got 2 kids that are very, supportive and loving because, my daughter's 25 next year. She's technically old enough to be a mother herself.
100%.
I'm very glad that she has not made me a grandmother, and I'm very glad that she broke that generational. Like, I mean, I was 17 when I was pregnant with her.
Yeah.
There's a lot of statistics with like obviously young mums. Yep. You see it all the time. Young grandmother, then young mum, and then it just
imagine being a grandmother at 40 or something like that. That's
yeah. I'm glad I'm not. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not. But in saying that, if it had been like obviously
if it happened,
exactly, it would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
But so I'll hopefully end up having a baby. Well,
at least you got a daughter and a son to look after the baby now whilst you go back to fight camp.
I wouldn't do that to them though. I always joke about it, but I'm just like, I definitely don't want to be one of those mums. Because to be fair, one of the things, I don't know, maybe I'm doing a lot of soul searching, and you think about like, I've got an almost 25-year-old daughter. My son's 17, almost 18 next year. And you just think, where did those years go by? Like it goes so quick, and I'd give anything to have them back in as a baby again, just to experience a few little milestones throughout their life. And you think those moments came and went, and I probably didn't appreciate them as much as I should have. So I feel like this next baby I'm just going to sit, even just the, waking up at 3:00 in the morning feeding is like, okay, every mum's just like, oh, I'm over it. But like, it's a beautiful moment.
It is.
You just, it's, even when they're in your bed sleeping and you're like, oh, I wish they'd sleep in their room. I miss the days when both my kids would curl up in bed with me.
Yeah,
like
now they're like, Mum, don't touch me.
I'm actually pretty lucky. My 17-year-old son, he'll walk over the edge of the soccer field and still give me a kiss.
Oh,
and like,
how nice.
if not that I've dropped him to school in forever, but like he shows affection publicly.
Yep.
And I remember when he started high school, I thought, because he was always his mummy's boy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's going to start high school. He's not going to like want to kiss me from it. But he will not give a shit. He'll walk over if he's with his mates and give me a hug and a kiss.
Oh, that's
But then
nice.
I am a pretty cool mum. Like all his mates actually like me too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God, your mum bashes people for a living.
He brought over one of his mates to our house.
And it's like got all the title belts. And
it was so funny because Kian came up and like obviously I'd heard a lot about his mate and stuff, but it was the first time I'd actually met him. He came over and he's like, oh, when he comes over, pretend to fight him. Pretend that you want to fight him. And I'm like, I can't. And he walked over and he's like, it was so funny because he's like, hello, Miss Blencowe. And I was just like, oh my God, Arlene, please. He said, Miss Blencowe, so like a teacher. And then I kind of joked. I was like, oh, Kian said that you wanted to fight. And he's like, no.
I'm good. Yeah, chuck him the gloves.
But it's so funny because all of his friends have got that, like, I guess, level of respect for me.
Which is awesome.
Like, when I see them, like, they'll be about to go out or something, I was like, no fucking around. Or be good or whatever.
Be good, guys. No drugs. Don't fuck around.
Yeah. And they'll be like, yes. Yeah. Because they know, which is good because I want that. But they also know that I'm like a super cool mum. So.
Yeah. No, I think that's cool. I think that's what all we want to do. If we've been raised up in traumatic situations, I think we want to be good parents, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, and support our kids and all of that sort of stuff.
Well, there's a fine line because this is the thing too. Like, definitely support them and be their mates, but it's also like
don't be the helicopter.
Well, still be their parent too, though, because this is the thing. Like, at the end of the day, like they need that discipline and they need like that guidance.
Yeah,
like
right.
You can't be friends at the same time. Like, you have to be able to. And I feel like I've got a healthy mix with that,
which is good. Kids, I think that's hard. That's really, really hard.
Yeah,
and it's trying to find that boundary between being, hey, I'm your friend. You can talk to me about anything. I'll support you always.
Yeah.
And then, hey, I'm your mum. Don't fuck around. You got to go wash the dishes. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I wish washing the dishes was like I've got no issues with any of that. Like, he's awesome around the house.
That's
yeah.
So good.
It's just it's scary because like, he's 17 and in the next, like, he's got a little bit more freedom as he's getting older and stuff. But in the next couple of years, he's going to be off making those big decisions himself. And you've got to trust that what you've done as a parent, which is.
I think that's the hard part, right?
It's
you don't know the return on your kind of investment and your teachings until they're
because they're their own people as well. And this is the thing, like, life is about making mistakes and learning from them. Like, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but never made the same mistake twice.
Right. But I mean, even with those mistakes, look at where you've come now.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Like, I am.
You're still able to fight, do what you want.
I say it to like a lot of the teens that I mentor, like, I don't regret anything in my life because it's led me to where I am today. It's made me the person I am. And because of all the mistakes I made, I'm able to now stand here and talk to these kids about it. But like, a lot of them have to learn for themselves.
Of course, you've got to learn the hard way sometimes too. You can't just teach theory, right?
Yeah,
sometimes it's got to be practical. What would you say is one of those biggest mistakes like that you've done?
Biggest mistakes.
What's one that you keep thinking about that kind of hits you?
Obviously nothing on the surface right now. Like, I've done a lot of things, but like, I feel like I actually don't have anything like
super pressing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I definitely don't regret falling pregnant at 17 because that's like, that's my daughter.
Yeah.
There'd be things that I would do differently if I had the time over again. Like, I ran away from home when I was 11, but then I had
11?
Yeah, I was 12 technically, 12. So I was kind of like slumming around in and out of houses and on the streets for like 6 months. But like,
that was in Queensland? Or?
Yeah. So there was reasons behind that. So like, I feel like there was this survival mode for a lot of it, and a lot of decisions were made.
What was that actually like though? Because I would struggle to comprehend that mindset, right? I come from a family where we're slightly dysfunctional, yes, but it never got to a point where I needed to run away from home, for example. You know how typical Asian households, parents fighting, it's always usually financial related.
Yeah.
My parents were actually pretty good in the sense that, yes, there was a lot of financial fights over a lot of stuff, a lot of arguing, fighting, loud noises, but never got to a point where, you know, they were abusive to each other or to me, for example.
Yeah.
But what's it like being a 12-year-old needing to run away from home? That's pretty intense sort of family dysfunctionality.
Yeah.
What was that kind of like for you to make that decision? 12 years old is very young. You would know seeing your kids grow up.
Oh, I know.
And
And it's crazy because at the time you think you're old. Like you think you're a lot old. I know.
Yeah.
And, you know, even when I was 17, and this is probably why when I was 17, I thought I was so much older because I'd been living so many
so mature at that age. Yeah.
But then so immature as well. Like it's, and yeah, I just, it's a hard one. Like,
what'd you do? Like, did you just go to friends'
houses? Yeah. And
slept on their
unfortunately just
couches?
like, just obviously doing the wrong, dumb things because, and this is what I say in a lot of the youth mentoring when I'm at the correctional centres, like the kids that hang around the street, and this is what I said, anything that happens past 10 p.m. is not good. You need to be at home because the people that are hanging out on the streets past 10 p.m., which I'm well aware of all those people because I had done it for a long time, they're up to no good. And it's a lot of thing you kind of like, you find yourself in a group because you've all got something sort of similar, whether or not you can't be at home for whatever reason or like, but you're up to no good, the things that you're doing. So, And
that group is always a group of kids that are either traumatized, have family problems.
And then you add drugs and alcohol.
Correct.
And
like then now you have the group mentality and you think you're all invincible.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas if you are on your own, you probably won't go rob that person or you probably won't go bash that person or you probably won't break an enter.
Yeah.
But if you're in a group, just do it, bro. Just do it. Just do it.
In my defense, I never did. Like I always, and this is probably like the good thing, like I always had my morals. So we never, like I never did anything, like, I mean, you look at some of this young gang violence that they're doing
Look at right now in Sydney, Western Sydney. Yeah,
it is crazy. So like I never got involved in any of that. But that was also too, like I guess I'm lucky that the people that I was around, but I don't think I ever would have stood up for, like I would have stood up for what I believed in. Like there's no way I would have been a part of any of that sort of
criminal stuff and youth crime.
Well, just more you know, robbing, you know, an elderly woman or like that's breaking into people's houses or just stuff like that. Like we never did any of that, like stuff where you're just, you know, harming other individuals or.
And it's just so bad. Like if you look at youth crime nowadays, especially in the West, it's just insane. I think there needs to be more people like you to go out there and help a lot of these youth understand that, home might be shit, but still it's better than being on the street, you know, like, or you can find your own way or find more peace and growth in other things. But I'm looking at even the news this morning, kids setting a house on fire, pouring petrol all over the front lawn. Like,
the stabbing in Penrith, like the teen stabbing, And so I'm very, very grateful that I don't understand this generation's with the knives and stuff because that wasn't around when we were younger. Oh my gosh. But
I don't think that was a thing until more recent years anyway, like all the kids carrying knives.
Also too... and I am the first to put them down, is the group fighting, like the gang bashing.
Yeah.
Like that was not a thing when we were growing up. It was one-on-one fights. You could, like a group might have like an issue with another group or whatever, but you'd single out the one person, you'd have that one fight.
That's it.
And that would be it.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like... my son was actually a victim of getting jumped at school and it was recorded.
No way.
Yeah. So... that was actually a bit of a pivotal moment in his career, in his life because he realised real quick he's not a fighter, and he's just not. He actually he was smart because he got up. There was like 6 people on him, all soccer booting him stuff. His nose was like bleeding.
How come? Just random attack or?
Oh, I don't know the full story, and I'm not going to be one of those mums that like.
And he's not going to tell you the full story either.
I'm sure there's more to it. Like I was not born yesterday, but I still don't think like my own morals is that like you do that to a pig of a person that's done something to a family member or all that sort of, I know that my son wouldn't have done anything that warranted that.
Correct.
Like whether or not it's just some like he said she said sort of stuff, like that's not a game, that's a one-on-one fight. Sort your shit out. Not to be jumped like that. So I saw red because this video actually went viral.
No way.
Yeah, I've still got it on my phone. It had happened. I was actually in New Zealand in fight camp at the time, and my son had called me to tell me, and I was like, what? And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I didn't get the full scheme of it because he told me, but he really downplayed it.
Of course, Mum, it's all right.
Yeah,
Some boys don't kind
he's
of
like,
push
my
me
nose is still
around.
like bleeding a little bit. He's like, it's fine because he's like that. But then I came across a video, and I was like,
Where'd you
what?
see the video on TikTok or something?
Well, no, because the school it wrapped back around, and the school got it. So apparently there was a site that uploads school fights or something. Yeah,
No
and
way.
then just like idiot kids though, because
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just
Just
don't
evidence. You want all the evidence
It's
for the cops.
just like when you see all these like sporting stars like at a night out, like put your phones away.
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah, that's
anyone
right.
recording anything that's getting done?
That's
Anyway, so when I saw it, I saw Red, and this is a few years ago. So he was, I suppose he was 2 years, but I've never had such ill thoughts towards. They must be
Kids.
16. Yeah, so this is almost
Bash
2
the
years
fuck
ago.
out of
Yeah,
these
pretty
kids.
much. I was ready to like old me came out. Like this is like I said, I'm a pretty like I'm well
booking the
respected.
next
I'm
flight.
calm, but this is the first time I was just like I'm ready to get these kids' legs broken. I'm like whoa. Lucky I was overseas, and again. Obviously, time just to like, and this is why you don't retaliate. And I share this story a lot,
Yeah.
especially in the juvenile correctional centres,
Yeah.
because you need to process things in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Holy shit, another wall would have been broken out.
100%. Don't instinctively
Yeah.
just respond.
I was able to like just obviously go through things like anyway, fast forward a few months, it all got sorted. The police got involved, but my son didn't want to put a statement in or anything because he kind of lives by a code as well.
Yeah.
But because of the video surveillance, there was enough evidence there. So I actually don't know what had happened. I don't know if any charges were pressed, but he stayed out of it. Like, again, don't know what the whole story was about, like what caused it all. I don't think it was anything serious, just stupid.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's not my
Yeah.
girlfriend.
But fast forward a couple of months, and I was in the boxing ring at my gym doing pad work, and there was this kid hanging in the ropes just sort of watching. And obviously I know people from everywhere.
Yeah.
I see a familiar face, but I just didn't like click where I know this kid from. And then I kind of like looked, and he's sort of looking like, and I was like, oh, hey. And then it clicked.
He's one
and
of the
I
kids.
was like, I went, like, I know who you are.
Oh, man.
But in this tone.
Yeah.
And he just was like, goes, can I speak to you? And I'm like, yeah, you can wait till I'm finished.
Yeah.
Anyway, finished doing my training, and then we went outside, and he was shaking.
Oh, no way.
Scared shitless. Anyway, he's like, oh, I just want to apologize. So anyway, he
Wow,
said
at
what he
least
needs.
he
to-
had
No,
the
he
balls
did.
to do that,
But
which is
then in
crazy.
that moment, I was just like, okay, just to let you know, like you were this close to having your legs broken. Like I put it on him. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I said, I love my son. I said,
Yeah.
I saw red. I said, you and all the boys. I said,
Yeah.
yeah. I said, but then I sat back and thought, you know what? Like
Yeah.
this moment here, you're a 16-year-old kid. Like I'm a big believer in everyone deserves a second chance. Like, I mean, if I've been given multiple chances throughout my life to obviously turn things around and become
Yeah.
a better person. I said, I'm hoping that this is one of those turning points in your life to realize that the path that you're going down
Yeah.
wasn't the right one. These kids that you're hanging around with anyway. Yeah. So it turns out he'd actually left school since then, started an apprenticeship
Wow.
in the gym training, not hanging around those kids. But yeah, it was a big thing. So anyway, we shook hands. He saw my son at the gym a couple of days later and like shook his hand. Like, that's what I said to my son. I'm like, that's it now. You're shaking hands. Like it's
Yeah,
all
you're
like
done.
it's all done. So there's no you like saying this or whatever.
No
like
revenge. none of
yeah,
that,
it's all done. It's all squashed, and and that was the end of it. So
Wow.
I just feel
Jump
like
in the ring now. Put on the
no, but I
gloves.
feel like that was a bit of a turning point because, like, when you live by a code, it's just like this and that. Like, whereas, yeah, sometimes you just got to be that bigger person. Like, yeah, obviously the wrong thing was done by my son, but yeah, it's everyone became a better person from that. The kid
Yep.
that obviously did it. I don't know what happened to the rest of them that jumped in, but at least one boy
Yeah.
out of the six of them.
Will start to turn his life
Yeah,
around.
and then my son, he realized, well, whatever caused it, he just doesn't belong in that world
Yeah.
at all. And that's why I said to him, I've raised you and given you opportunities in life to be, a good person. You don't want to be a hooligan
Yeah.
hanging around.
Don't be a degenerate.
Yeah, because again, I don't know the full story.
Yeah.
But it was a turning point, and he's behavior definitely changed from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson then.
Yeah.
Definitely a good lesson. Lucky he wasn't hurt too badly or anything like that.
Well,
so
it's
a good lesson.
lucky, I say, because if that was me, I would have got up swinging.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have won against Luke. I mean, they were big boys.
Yeah.
He actually was smart enough to get up and get out. And
walked
like,
out,
and so that was kind of the end of it. Whereas I would have been like, I'm back to the fence, like, let's go.
Yeah. And it just gotten worse and worse and worse. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have cracked a couple, but yeah, it's just like, hey, it would have made for a cool video
Yeah,
ever since I was filming.
Yeah, exactly. But it'll be all over TikTok after that. So it'd be crazy. Yeah, actually, what is that mindset, right? Obviously, you got really, like, you're seeing red from that video of your son.
Yeah.
But when you're in the cage and you get hit hard, like, you might have gone into this fight, like, because we see these fights all the time.
Yeah.
Massive, like, 12-round fights, 10-round fights, 8-round fights, whatever. First round, you get cracked.
Yep.
And you're just like, what the fuck? I did not expect that punch to be that hard.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in that situation where you're just like, wow, that like rocked my soul?
There's been different times throughout my fights. One time, actually, it was in a boxing fight.
Yeah.
So it was a 10-round world title fight.
Yeah.
I didn't
That must
win
be
this
so
one.
tiring, 10 rounds.
Well, you're fit. This is why we train.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the first round, and we were literally feeling each other's out, getting the distance, working out, just throwing jabs or whatever. And obviously I didn't see a punch because next vision, I was actually, first of all, I was sitting on the canvas. I got sat.
Wow.
But my vision was me in the backyard by the clothesline talking to my kids going, look how green the grass is now. And I remember I had some towels hanging on the line, and I remember the grass that actually was a little bit long, probably needed to be mowed a little bit. But this is, it's so, like, such a clear thing. But then, like, the next thing, my eyes are back in the boxing ring, and obviously
Holy
it was a hometown crowd. Everyone's, like, cheering because, like, their hometown girls just dropped me in the first round. I've just bounced straight back up to my feet out of instinct, and then the ref's obviously doing his count.
Yeah.
And then he wiped my gloves. I'm good. And that must have been very close to the end of the round, because then a couple of seconds later the bell went.
Yeah.
I went over to the neutral corner.
Yeah.
So the white, so you've obviously got red, blue, and then the two neutral. I remember walking over to my corner, and I'm like,
Wrong corner.
no, I'm thinking, where the fuck is my coach? Like, why has he put the seat in? Like, the bell's gone. You've only got a minute. Like, I leant over the ropes. And then it was over there, and he's like, Arlene. And I'm like, oh, shit. Went over to the corner, sat down. So that was round one. Have no recollection of the rest. We did the 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Can't remember a thing.
Holy shit.
And then for the next, I'd probably say it was a bit good 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
I'd be at home with my kids. There's no way I would have been able to do this. It would have been a lot of the spacey things where I'd forget what I was saying.
Yeah,
that would have happened. I'd be in the middle of a conversation with the kids. So they'd be sitting up on the kitchen bench, making them something to eat. They're doing their homework, whatever. And then I'd be in the middle of talking, and then I'd turn to the fridge to get something out. And obviously that would take my attention, looking for whatever. And then I'd turn back and then just start, continue on. And they'd both be looking at me like, waiting for me to continue what I was just saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, was I just talking? And they're like, Mom, you were just yeah. So it kind of was a little bit funny at first, but then I'd be in like social settings where I'd be talking, and same thing, like I'd look at the water or whatever, and then it'd take and I'd instantly stop, and then I'd have, 2 or 3 people staring at me like you are right now.
Yeah, it's like
and then I'm like, oh, what was I saying? So it actually got to the point where I got a little bit embarrassed by it because
it's like low-key brain damage.
So then I actually went into a bit of a shell.
Yeah.
But definitely concussion.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So that took a little bit.
Holy
good to
shit.
know I'm back. But every now and then I'll have a little bit like, what was I saying again? But
I guess that's normal now. It's just normal. Wow, so she must have rocked your.
It was a punch I didn't see too, and they say it because obviously like.
Did you review the footage and you just like, wow, I didn't even see that. It's an uppercut.
I can't even remember. I'm sure we did. I don't even know where that footage is now. But I've obviously gone on. I had a 5-round war with Chris Cyborg, who's the goat of MMA. She can punch.
Yeah.
She push kicked me in the face.
Ooh.
So her foot.
Yeah.
And it pushed my mouth guard up. Oh. And she actually did it like 3 times in the fight. I was like, probably should move my head or block it.
Yeah.
But I did. I blocked it with my face. So the next morning after that fight, I was eating what do you call it? Smoked salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the capers and cream cheese on toast. On a bagel actually. and a caper got stuck up there. I had a cut that deep up in the inside of my mouth that the caper fully got stuck up in there that I had to pull my lip out and fish it out.
Holy shit.
Lucky your mouth is actually one of the quickest healing parts of your body. Yeah, I've half bitten my tongue off. I've got but I don't know. I guess there's always a point, like, I've definitely been cracked in fights and be like, oh, that's not a good one. Or you know that you can't cop another one very soon after that.
Yeah. Because I don't think people understand. Like, they will watch. So everyone in the stadiums, they'll have criticism, right?
Yeah.
You look at all the footage. He shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have done that. You see all of it, right? But when you're in the ring and you get cracked a big one, how the fuck are you going to sit there and, hold on, let me analyze before they throw the next punch. I'm going to block.
Oh, it's the worst when people, and
crazy.
I'm never one to comment on anybody else's performances.
Yeah. You just don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's just you don't know. There's so many factors that can go into it.
It's always he should have, she should have.
And it's coming from people that have never done anything.
Before. Exactly.
One of my things that I actually refereed. Well, it used to be Whip to Warrior, but now it's Train Alter. Yeah. I refereed one of their shows. So it was like obviously the amateur fighters that have just trained for 12 weeks. And it was actually very, very interesting. So I've obviously watched a lot of MMA fights on TV and fights get stopped and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they stopped it like that.
Yeah.
But then when you get to the arena and you watch it at the arena, you're like, oh, this is so much different to TV. You actually hear it and you're like, oh, okay. But when you are the referee in there, it's even closer. Like, you'll see stuff that doesn't get picked up on camera or whatever. I actually had to stop a couple of the fights, which I always thought to myself, oh, why did I stop? But you'll see eyes roll back in the head or they're just not themselves. They might look like on camera.
On TV, it looks like it's normal. They just cop the normal punch.
Yeah, but when you're there in front of them and like you're looking at them and they're off with the fairies, you're like, nah. Like, this is...
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I've got a whole new respect for that. So I don't ever comment on people's performances. Yeah. And I never comment on like stoppages and stuff like that because the refs see something very, very different to.
Wow. That's so incredible because I can never imagine like copping a punch from like a world-class boxer, MMA fighter. That's a different level of strength. Melvin, who's on the cameras right now, he was actually like to me, hey, can you get Arlene to fucking just chop my legs tomorrow and see how that feels? And I was like, do you want to have a broken leg? And it's just crazy. And
to be fair, a leg kick, I feel, I suppose unless I would rather get punched in the face than cop a leg kick, especially right now because I've been I've been obviously in a boxing fight camp for a while, so my legs aren't conditioned. Like it's your leg kicks, you get conditioned to copping them.
It's like Muay Thai, right? When they keep they keep the trees and stuff with the branches and the timbers. Yeah,
I've got my my Muay Thai coach. I swear he has steel rods in his
I've seen
shins.
The videos where they like bend bars with their shins.
Man, they're just, it's like, because we'll do a conditioning drill where it's just shin on shin. So I stand there and he'll just like, kick my shin. And I remember the first time I was like, and then like, after like obviously a while now I'm just like, shin on shin. I'm like, let's go. And you kind of just like enjoy the feeling of it. But to be fair, right now I probably would be back to like, because you lose it. Like you got to.
Because I hear like the shin bone just regrows, gets stronger and stronger and harder and harder and stuff like that.
We have a bamboo, even your knuckles. So over in America, at the end of one of our conditioning sessions, we just sit there and we whack our knuckles. Like bones and the shins and because it just causes
like micro tears, micro fractures.
Yeah. So
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that.
Well, what was funny is I actually I'd just finished sparring yesterday. So I did 8 rounds. Yeah. Of sparring, like hard sparring with my training partner. And I quickly rushed from there and I had an appointment with my beautician. She's there.
You go from sparring to beautician?
Yeah. So, well, I've got to be nice to my face. Yeah. So I've literally just caught punches and they did this, it's a pigmentation. It gets rid of like all the...
Like an injection or...
No, it's just like this little zappy pico machine. But it kind of like, just zaps you. So they're sitting there and they did it and it was like click and it zap and I was like... and I'm like, I've literally just got punched in the face and she gets more of a reaction from this little machine that gets the pigmentation off my skin.
Oh my God.
So like I can be super tough but then I can be like super wussy at the same time.
Yeah. That's so crazy though. Like I just, I don't think people really understand, right? Because every time you see any sort of fighting content, you open up the comments, it's literally, why didn't they do this? Why didn't that? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
so if you get rocked, it's seriously like your brain, like you literally saw a whole entire vision that didn't exist.
No.
That's insane.
Yeah. And I still remember it to this day. And this is like, oh my goodness.
What, 10 years on?
More than 10 years. We're probably talking, well, I wasn't even doing MMA back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So it's like 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
And I can still remember it. I'm so going to be one of those old grandmas sitting around the kitchen table rattling off
one
this
time,
story.
I got punched so hard.
As long as it keeps, oh my God, as long as it stays PG and I don't start rattling off all this other stuff. I'm like, I said to the kids, I'm like, if I become one of those ladies, I'm like, you just put me in the,
just put me in the
wheel
corner.
me into the bedroom. Leave Nana in the room.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, it's a scary thing. And to be fair, like especially now, I am an older athlete and I've been doing it for so long, and I guess you just value your life and your health a lot more. Like I don't see myself as being invincible. So I am I'm a lot more careful. Quite often I used to jump into sparring sessions without headgear.
Oh shit.
I mean, at MMA you kind of do. It's a lot less head trauma though. There's a lot of obviously other areas of your body that's getting attacked. But boxing, it's very head orientated. But I jump into boxing sparring sessions with big hitters and be like, oh, it's fine. And then I was kind of like, oh, I only got hit 3 times in the 8 rounds. But then those 3 hits were like freaking monster hits.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then wondering why I can't sleep that night, or wonder why I'm like noticing my like being in a little bit of a depression state, or like my
because you
mood
got hit so
changing.
hard.
Yeah, or just because they're all signs. Not realizing the signs of concussion back then, but now I do.
Oh
it's like,
wow.
Yeah.
What hurts more, or what's worse, like getting hit in the face, or taking a gut punch, or getting winded? Like what would you say is kind of like?
Definitely a good gut punch, one that where you take the next breath and then you really realize.
Oh, really?
A front-on punch, maybe because I've copped. No, that's not Asian. They're fine. It's the hooks
to the cheek.
No, not the cheek. That skin past your nose, but it's more the uppercuts that push this little bone up that hurt. The punches to the side here get me. I don't know if I should be saying this. Is going to be aired before my fight. Nothing hurts me. I am invincible.
She's invincible. You can't touch her, all right?
But yeah, so it just depends. There'll be like, and sometimes it's just a punch that you don't
expect.
Well, yeah, you don't expect, because a lot with your stomach punches too, like you'll be braced, but then sometimes like they'll catch you when you're like mid-breath or like whatever, and it
because you see a lot of fighters, like when they're going to like go close, they're always going for ribs, they're going for gut.
Yeah.
Like what's it like going for ribs? Like what does that feel like? I've never really
as in copping one or throwing one?
Copping one.
Just trying to think of the last time I've been caught. Especially when you're extended, then that's all showing.
Yeah,
you like
it's all showing.
Yeah, to be fair, getting kicked there at the same time as hurts.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
because I've been kicked there a few times.
A kick to the ribs would hurt, eh?
Yeah,
that would hurt a lot.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, I've got a few of those.
Yeah. Your pain tolerance must be fucking high.
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
But like to a degree, because then I go back to saying before, like there'd be small little things and I act like a wuss. But before I had my knee surgery, I saw my knee surgeon, and like he was just blown away that I'd still done a fight camp, that I was even still running, and
with your knees busted.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just the things that I do, and he was like, but even then I had surgery. I woke up, and then I was like, I need to pee. And he goes, well, if you can walk, it is always good to try and walk. But there's like, I can get you. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. I kind of just limped like off the hospital bed straight after surgery. And then my mother-in-law was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's strong, but then I can be a wuss too.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, this is one question that probably only you can answer, right? Childbirth versus getting knocked.
Oh my goodness, childbirth is like...
Is that more painful?
I had a cesarean for my daughter.
Yeah.
We had an emergency cesarean for her. So the recovery for that was pretty crazy. And
was that because you were really young at that stage?
No. So she was posterior.
Oh, so she was flipped.
Yeah. So she wasn't breached. So the head was down, but she was the opposite way. So she was spine to spine, and then her heart rate dropped. So had a cesarean, and then, that whole recovery was pretty crazy because my scar got infected.
Oh
They
my
also didn't
God.
remove the placenta proproperly, so then I had to have like another
Second surgery,
procedure.
yeah.
So that was, and then on top of that, just being a young mum. So that whole
That's traumatizing.
yeah, it was not the and plus I was actually told that she was a boy. So then when she was born,
Like, wait, something's missing.
Yeah, I remember at the time of like, because as they'd obviously cut me open and they're like getting everything, and they're like, "Oh, do you know what you're having?" I'm like, "Yeah, a little boy." And then like they pulled her out, and then they're like, and then I thought because there was something wrong, so I stressed out, and they're like, "Oh no, it's a girl." I'm like, "Oh no, it's a boy." And
So,
I'm like, "No, it's a girl."
Your boy's missing a pee-pee.
Yeah, but no, I had so with Kian, I really wanted a natural birth.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it was freaking the craziest thing ever. But it's definitely the bonding. Like you go
The
through
bonding
that. It's
process
just
of it.
very
Yeah.
maternal. Like it's a beautiful thing. And it's something you never forget because every mother's birthing story, it stays with them for life. And
100%.
it's been like almost 25 and 18 years since both of mine, and I can give you exact details like
Of
it was
both,
yesterday.
yeah.
Whereas it's a beautiful thing.
So you reckon that hurts significantly more than getting dropped in the cage?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, I've been flash dropped, but you don't actually feel those.
Because it's instantaneous, right?
Yeah. So I've never been knocked out.
Yeah.
We're gonna touch wood.
Yeah. Thank God. Big piece of wood here. So
Back my chin.
yeah.
But yeah, there'll be one day that I'll cop something that I don't see. But I've been dropped. That one time in boxing is the only time that I've been dropped. In the first round.
Yeah.
And then one time in my fight with Chris Cyborg, I squared my feet up at the same time and copped a punch, and then But so you don't actually feel either of those, but you feel every part of childbirth.
That's so interesting that you don't feel it, because obviously on camera, everyone sees you just copped a big shot.
Yeah.
But then to you, you're like, I don't feel it because I was already kind of like blanked out.
Me,
I was fainting. I was gone.
I felt it after it. It was hilarious because I ended up getting 8 stitches in my eyebrow because I copped an elbow. I had 2 black eyes.
Oh my God.
Like obviously my lips. I had this leg had been shot, so it was black and blue.
Oh
my knee was sore. My ankle was sore. But I was in the wars. Like after that fight, I remember we caught the shuttle bus from the arena back to where we were staying. And I jumped in the shower, and then I was just like, I just went into shock. I was in the hot shower, but like sitting there shaking. I had to put a tracksuit on. But that was the most messed up I've been after a fight. But
that was the most recent one?
No, that was the most recent one with Chris. So that was 2022.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So but it was like one of those fights, like I said earlier in the interview, I lost, but I won. Like that was there was a moment in that fight. So after
personal victory.
Yeah, well, there was a couple of moments in that fight where I could have quit on myself, but I didn't. Yeah. And it's just like, those moments.
Was that in like a big stadium? Lots of flashing.
Yeah, that was in Hawaii. That was
it
was a big stadium. I can't remember the name of the stadium, but obviously televised. Like it's big. Like fight. Anyone fighting Chris Cyborg is a big deal. And she normally walks through opponents, and she's very, very dominant.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Wow. A lot of respect for each other after that fight.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's so crazy. Like, I mean, you've had a very long career.
Yeah.
In a sport that's extremely tough.
Yeah.
That's very, very incredible. So getting towards the end of the show now as well. I kind of want to explore this for you. If you went back to 20-year-old Arlene, right, and you had to give yourself, and we're all about unlocking the different cheat codes that we learn throughout life, because the cheat codes don't come until you've already played the game.
Yeah.
You know? So now that you've played this game of life, this wonderful game of life, you've gone through motherhood, you've gone through being a world champion, you're now becoming an older athlete as well. So a different game coming up for you. Mm-hmm. If you were to reflect and really think about younger Arlene, 20-year-old Arlene, who's probably just going to start her journey again, what's the one cheat code that you can think of that can help her kind of accelerate her progress to where you are today, but in less than half the time?
Accelerate it. I would definitely, so 20-year-old me, this is 6 years before I even started. So, but I say it all the time to the kids that I mentor. It's make the most of your youth. Like So for me, it definitely would be like think of the long game. Like I feel like when I was younger, and a lot of youth do it now, they want instant gratification for anything. They don't like the idea of going to uni, even though uni is not the be all and end all of it. But like anything where it's like 5 years, you're like, oh, that's such a long time.
Yeah.
But whether or not you stick to the plan now, those 5 years are going to go by anyway.
Correct.
So you may as well knuckle down and do the hard work. I wouldn't say it's a cheat code, but for me, I would just, believe that I can knuckle down, do the hard work, like do the grind, respect yourself, treat yourself as a professional, and just do the work. Like I feel like in anything that you do, and I see it all the time, the 10 years is a sweet spot, like especially as an athlete. Like it took me 10 years from when I first started to finally kind of make it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I look at my son. So he's actually in his 10th year of soccer right now.
Already?
Yeah.
Holy
so he
shit.
started young. And this is a big thing with starting.
Of course.
But it's also nurturing too, because I don't want to live like my life through my son and make him like have a career that I wish I sort of had. Like
that's the
like,
Asian parenting mentality.
Yeah. Like I still want him, like if he turned around and, quit soccer, I'd be disappointed because I know that he's very, very good at it. But I'd also probably have the conversations as to why you want to quit and just make sure you don't throw something. Because, I've wanted to quit fighting multiple times. So is it just a stage that you're going through? Should we just keep going a little bit? Like, but yeah, so he's on his 10-year mark now, and he's actually just signed to an A-League club for next year.
Oh shit! Congratulations to him.
So this is cool. Like, and it's but it's just that sticking with it, like just doing the work, going through the highs and lows. Like I just wish that I guess as a young person, I realized that nothing worth having it comes easy. Like it's not easy. But I'd rather this version of hard than the dumb shit that I was putting myself through, like just wasting time. And I wouldn't say it's a cheat code, but
a brutal reality and psychology to how to take on life, I guess. This is great.
Yeah. Just actually I wish I could put that into like a really cool like
Don't worry, we'll chuck it into ChatGPT for you. And then you can use it in your next interview.
But no, and I don't know. I feel like the last couple of years too, I've just been the happiest. And I feel like that I was actually only saying to my wrestling coach, Avatar, you've met Avatar, at my wrestling coach.
That's right.
He's one of my favourite people in this world.
Yeah.
But I was only saying to him on the phone yesterday that actually in the last few weeks in particular, because I'm back in fight camp, I'm the happiest that I've been in the last 12 months. But more so the last 5 years, I think I've been the happiest because obviously I've dealt with a lot of trauma from the past. I've settled in life. Like I'm in a good position, my family life, financially, career-wise, this and that. But that lets off vibrations. So in the last couple of weeks, I've let off like obviously happy vibrations. All these like good things are coming to me, and it's crazy. And it's like it just the universe is kind of like I don't know. I don't know if I obviously believe in all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Like even The Secret. Have you read like The Secret?
Of course.
It's
like
like
law of attraction.
Yeah, the law of attraction, and your affirmations and how you speak about yourself. Like I do believe in all of that stuff, and obviously the last couple of weeks because I'm in camp and I'm letting off this vibration and I'm just attracting all this good stuff. And it's, obviously in my 20s, I was still dealing with a lot of stuff, and it's just kind of like you keep constantly just keep knocking yourself down in this little rut. And it's just like, you know what, life's life. You've just got to roll with the punches. But be a good person, do the right thing by people, have good morals and all those sorts of things, and good things will come like to you. But yeah.
I love that. Powerful stuff. So where do people follow your journey now? Because you're about to fight. Hopefully this episode comes out I think it will actually come out just before the fight. So
awesome. It'll
be great timing for you. But where do people follow you? Where do people find you?
Well, I try and keep my socials somewhat like, I obviously don't post everything on there, but I also keep it very real. So you'll see the highs and lows, but I'll post family stuff, dog stuff, life stuff, like and whatever. But Definitely socials. So Instagram, the Aussie Girl Angerfist, and then Facebook as well. I need to get onto TikTok. I do have Twitter, but I'm just it's so hard. Instagram's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, daily like reels and posts and stories
TikTok's
and
good.
stuff.
TikTok's good. I think you'll enjoy TikTok. Just cross it over. Just post everything over on TikTok.
Yeah, okay.
It'll do well for you.
Yeah.
Good for promotion. Good for promotion.
Yeah.
It's all about promoting that next event, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that'll be fun. Well, it's been a fun episode. I hope you guys have all gotten a lot out of this episode. I think it's really cool. Arlene's an awesome person from our conversation.
Yep.
So thank you guys for tuning in to another ep. And Arlene, best of luck. Hopefully
Thank
you get...
you.
This is a title fight, right? So if you win, you get another belt.
I am the champ.
You get another belt. There you go. Aussie champ, right?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Fantastic. So best of luck. We're in your corner.
Awesome.
We're excited to see that fight go down and rock the world. Break some stereotypes and some norms.
Yes. Thank you.
Let's go. All right, thank you, guys. I hope you have enjoyed that episode of Point 01. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along on all our socials at Point 01 Podcast to watch all of the shorts again. We release an episode every single week, and we hope you will join us as we continue to explore the minds of those who make up the 0.01%. Until next time, keep hustling. I'm your host, Alan Fu. I'll see you on the next episode.